Hi, this is the Cooking Elf. Today I'm making chicken pot pie pockets and chicken a la king. Chicken a la king is pretty much chicken pot pie without the crust. To start, put 11 tablespoons of butter in a saucepan on medium heat, which should be about 250 to 275 degrees, for about 5 minutes without stirring. I'm making clarified butter. It has a silkier, richer, stronger taste. You can skip this step or do it partially. As the milk solids separate, you will see a whitish foam. Skim the milk solids off. The better way is to take the butter off the heat, let it sit for 5 minutes, then skim and or pour the clarified butter out, leaving as much of the milk solids as possible behind. Ideally, you should use a cheesecloth or a coffee filter and sift the butter, but do the best you can. We don't need to be perfect. My grandma taught me about cooking. She cooked by feel and taste more than recipes. Cooking at home shows affection. It's more than directions. Now pour the butter into a pan and add half a cup of flour and stir until it thickens. If using regular butter, let it melt in the pan before adding the flour. We're making a roux. Next, gradually add 2.5 cups of heavy cream and keep blending as you add the cream until the texture is smooth and creamy. For me, this part is fun. I like to see the roux go from chunky to creamy. Then gradually add 2 cups of regular chicken broth. Stir constantly to incorporate or until fully blended. This recipe is our enhanced version after we went to a famous restaurant owned by a chef we all know. The pot pie looked great and exotic, but was bland. While we do respect everyone's efforts, it did inspire us to go beyond something that looked exotic and ornate and make something that tastes great. We tried other famous restaurants and online recipes with moderate luck. Some pot pies tasted like they were dragged through the woods. Some spices for us don't belong in a pot pie. None had that rich, full, creamy chicken pot pie taste we craved. So with the leprechaun, we made our own. Now in a separate bowl, beat 3 egg yolks, then take a spoonful of the sauce mixture and whisk it vigorously with the egg yolks. This is called tempering. It is done to prevent the eggs from scrambling in the hot saucepan. Immediately pour this mixture back into the saucepan, stirring until well blended. Next, add 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg and 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, letting it simmer for a few minutes. Then, add a teaspoon or so of salt. You will do this a couple of times as you want to add salt to taste. Now, put in 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Yes, lemon juice. I promise your dish will not taste like lemon at all. What it will do is bring out the flavor. All that's left is to add 10 ounces each of peas and corn. We used bird's eye frozen peas and corn because they maintain their firmness. The ones in the can are too mushy for us after being mixed in. However, you can use carrots, mushrooms, or any vegetables you like to customize it. Next, add 4.5 cups of chicken. We use Tyson pre-cooked diced chicken because it's quick, easy, and readily available. A good alternative would be a rotisserie chicken. And finally, add 4 ounces of pimentos into your sauce. Once those are stirred in, let it simmer for 4 to 5 minutes. And don't forget to taste it to see if you need to add more salt. Usually you'll need 1 or 2 more teaspoons of salt, but that's up to you. Salt brings out the taste. It can make or break your sauce, so don't be scared to use it. I know salt has a bad rep. It started with one study in 1962. Louis Dahl gave rats the equivalent of 3.5 cups of salt a day for humans. That's like eating 640 packages of ramen noodles or more than a full container of Morton salt a day. There are many new studies that say salt is not bad. In some studies, the people who ate more salt had their blood pressure go down, while those who ate less had theirs go up. Drinking an absurd amount of water in a day can also kill you. That does not mean water is bad for you. I make a point not to eat more than a container of salt a day, but I'm an elf, not a doctor, and some people do have a sensitivity to salt. So you all do what is right for you. This is the end of my salt rant, and our pot pie filling is complete. Instead of adding a pie crust for crunch, we added a well-toasted English muffin and placed them in quarters at the bottom of our ramekin dishes. We tried it with a mashed potato top. Do not do this. The dish is too good by itself. The potatoes took away from what is an amazingly good meal. You can add a pie crust on top if you like. We think it's perfect the way it is. If you want to make our chicken pot pie pockets, you'll first need to let the filling get cool, preferably cold. Then place as much of the chicken filling as you can on a flour tortilla and still be able to seal it. The best way to make it is folding both ends and rolling it tightly to keep the filling from coming out. Heat a pan with 1 tablespoon of butter, a little more if you are making 2 or more burritos at once. Put the burrito fold side down with the pan on medium-high to let it sizzle for 15 or more seconds. Then lower the heat to medium to low and cook it for 2 to 3 minutes per side, pressing down evenly often. This meal also tastes just as good, if not better, the next few days. The leprechaun definitely thinks it gets better, but he also said for 18 years his mother served him nothing but leftovers. And to this day, the original food was never found. Thanks for watching. We look forward to your comments. Now here's the recipe.